So I didn't talk about this in the video, but when you see it, it'll all make a lot more sense. These are the earnings date numerologies for Facebook and Qualcomm July 25th, 2018, and then Netflix had their earnings July 16th, 2018. So we see how on July 25th, 2018, the earnings for Facebook and Qualcomm are in a lifeless number of 43. Netflix has theirs on a lifeless number of 34. Murder 34, killing 43, prophecy 52. They're both of this with 5225 numerology. They both have similar outcomes, huge sell-offs, and they're all by the numbers. So when you watch the video, you'll see how this works, what's going on, and how the stock market is manipulated by the Scottish Rite Freemasonic tyrants who run industry, who run the federal government. What's good? It's Chigozi. It's Saturday, July 28th, 2018. And remember, we're going to talk about this. Facebook puts privacy first, and stock plunges 20%. This is a synagogue of Satan ritual put on by them. This puts privacy first. Some say the same thing as synagogue of Satan. 242, 190, and 80. See? Synagogue sums to 42. So Facebook had their earnings that made the stock plunge on the 25th of July. So from then to his upcoming 35th birthday, Galima 35, 42 weeks. Synagogue 42, Zionism 42, Jesuit 42, Freemason 42, Saturn 42. And here I'm just going to lace in some potential strategies for those that like to invest and hold into Facebook stock. Whenever it's a day that's going to be a whole number of weeks from his birthday, then you can just sell your position and get back in the next day if you can, it's probably not going to do much. You can see how, don't be surprised, 43 weeks from his next birthday. So maybe, let's see if you can check it. Last week something happened. But you can see this sell-off that Facebook had. You see how it was a steady uptrend pattern. And then right here on the 25th, and again, they warn you, they let you know weeks in advance that they're going to have an earning. And this is why people don't like to hold through earnings. And for people that do, so yeah, this video is dedicated for those that like to gamble and hold through earnings. Especially in earnings season, these main Zionist Jew theater troops, you probably don't want to hear them, or you probably don't want to hold them. And you see how on the 25th, Death 25, and you can see how it's 73 days from Mark Zuckerberg's birthday. Mark Zuckerberg born May 14th, 1984. Mark Zuckerberg equals 84. He's 34 years old. So just think about it. This is really valuable information for those who like to invest, because you can apply this to Disney, apply this to any stock for any of these major corporations that all participate in this bullshit, fake news, 42 Freemason propaganda. So you see how murder sums to 34. Just understand the tropes. Murder 34. And you can even stick with the English ordinal, this is alphabetical order and reducing, because they use these so much for these. Murder 34, sacrifice 73. So when he's 34 years old, 73 days before 73 days from his 34th birthday. So he turns 34 and 73 days later is his earnings call, is his earnings report for Facebook. It's going to be bad. So again, you could have profited. You could have understood that, shorted on that day. Be like, I'm going short. I'm going to borrow as many shares as possible from my broker. And since it's Facebook, a very big blue chip company, you can borrow a lot. You can make so much money here. Short so many shares here. And then just cover after everyone sells. Because you know that 73 days from his 34th birthday, murder 34, sacrifice 73, his earnings is going to be negative. And of course, you can just set a stop, buy, order, and protect your risk, manage your risk, and all that in case it doesn't happen. But you understand how if it's a game of probability, the odds are strongly in your favor for this. 10 weeks, 3 days. 103, the 27 prime. We all know about the 27 club. 27 connecting to death. It's a sacrifice number as well. And we see this again and again in the Chaldean cipher, sacrifice sums to 27. 103 to 27 prime, so 10 weeks, 3 days. His birthday. Also, without counting the end date, you see how it's 72 days, reflection 27, and you see how it's 2 months, 11 days, 211, the 42nd prime. Excuse me, 211 is not the 42nd prime. I meant to say the 47th prime. But February 11th is his 42nd day of the year. But 211 is the 47th prime, killing 47, time 47, very special number to the Freemasons. You know, start plunges, and of course, you can even predict, you know, how much your return's going to be. Oh, let me short and cover when my price target is going to be when it falls to 20%. You can, if you want to be greedy, you can wait for 25%, death 20, 25. But then be careful because you know that we have the, I'm going to start calling this the Florida trope. You know, Florida 25 is centenary like death. Florida 38, if you're up 15, you get 38. So like they use 15 for death, killing, murder a lot, 15, 34. So it could have been dropped by 15%. But something so drastic, 20% is a nice rounded number like that. So, and I know it's easy to trade in hindsight, I get it, but you understand I'm speaking in hindsight because, I mean, it's just logical. Like if I really cared, I mean, to me, personally, I mean, there's many opportunities. I don't want to be sinking, you know, doing all these calculations from Mark Zuckerberg's birthday just to try to get a good shorting opportunity. Like I could have gotten this if I wanted, knowing it's earnings season, and try to figure this out. Because they tell you weeks in advance when earnings was. I could have just done, oh, okay, I could have weeks in advance and anticipated this. And honestly, I might start applying this again. But 73 days from his 34th birthday, it was easy money right here for anyone who would have done that. So this is actually a very good strategy that I'm teaching for free for people. Because again, all these investing people, their strategies, you know, guys, a strategy like this is game changing. A strategy like this is worth thousands and thousands of dollars in that world, you know what I mean? But I would never ever charge for any of this information whatsoever. I would love I would be extremely happy if thousands of people all went short knowing this, who applied this knowledge, and they all made so much money. You know, maybe have further control of their lives for a little bit because of it. Unfortunately, you have to pay a bit more in taxes because it's more money. But you know what I'm trying to say? I would love people to understand this and use it to their advantage if they're applying this knowledge. That's one of the first steps to waking people up. Because people are about personal gain. What's in it for me? How can I make money off this? That's what some people have been asking me. Tell me why I shouldn't be sharing this knowledge because, you know, I can't make money off it. You can't make money off it. Well, here's an example of how you can. But of course, it's beyond that. And then even look, like 144 video. Time 144. If you're at 44, you get 144. Israel 44. Kill 44. They have this number then on this piece of propaganda. Here's why quitting Facebook is so hard, just mocking you. Updated at 8:51, reflection of 158, Freemasonry 158. But again, if you don't like to short, you can still apply this strategy. Because you can still think, okay, it's going to go down. I'm going to anticipate, watch it, wait for the absolute bottom, wait for the momentum and the shift, you know, positive, and buy then. So you can play it either way. You can play both sides of it. And seriously, if you want to play along and you don't want to invest, you can open a fake money account You can even probably use fake information if you can, and play along. Next thing is, test it out, see how it's actually a legit strategy, because it just puts more odds in your favor, which kind of what is the whole point. And again, I never says to like say, oh, everyone needs to do this or should do this. It's just for those that are interested, that regardless of what I'm saying, already do something or have interest in it. Or someone who needs a little bit of inspiration to explore something else. You can apply this knowledge in that. That is all I'm saying. So China kills Qualcomm's $44 billion deal for NXP. This one didn't really have much of a movement on it. And we can see that. But then, just because it didn't have much of an effect doesn't mean that every time, you know what I mean? You still could have managed your risk. It's all about risk management. So you can understand then how Qualcomm's going to be putting up propaganda on a specific day, doing the same thing I did with Mark Zuckerberg, and likewise making the same decisions. This right here is, this is the day before they thought that the merger was going to go through. Not because the Goy don't understand 44 is a kill number. If I heard that there was going to be a $44 billion deal, I would have sold way up here. I would have waited, all this hype, I would have sold at the way top and not gotten back in or any of that shit. I would have waited to the next day. $44 billion deal, no, I'm not going to hold with that. With this thelemic actor, it's like this bullshit propaganda. So this is a little bit more difficult because of that, because it's more difficult, then it's something that you shouldn't play. Like, you can still play it, but using maybe different types of analysis. But just using Gematria analysis, stick to things that are very easy and predictable. Here's the easy examples: Elon Musk and Tesla, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg. Those two, we see how they're always participating in all this false flag propaganda by the numbers. So, and we see how they have all these sell-offs and this and that, but then they're still big companies. Here's the thing is, you want to play this with companies that have the mind's eye of the masses, because that means that they will be more relevant. So that's why, for example, when Netflix sold off, there's a decent recovery. We see how Facebook sold off, but there was a little recovery. And that's the thing. You can just play the recovery, you're good. Facebook sold off as a recovery. And Facebook will eventually go up to kind of where it was before. I'm guessing, not because I'm bullish for Facebook, it's because it's propaganda software. It will be here forever. They can pull some, these are federal government pump and dumps. They can put out some bullshit propaganda that's really positive, but it's crafted nonsense and send the price up. So, of course I have faith in all these companies. I do, because it's all Zionist Jew mind control. Facebook, and then what we're going to say, recent example, Netflix. Netflix, see this huge sell-off they had here? It was trading at the 400 range, and then see their earnings here too. And we can see this Netflix, if I remember, let's see how many people it was found. It was founded by 2 people, and it gets a little like what to do, but let's just try it. We see how with Mark Zuckerberg, let's apply to Netflix. Apply this strategy again and again. It could be from their birthday. Reed Hastings, there we go. But, you know what I mean? It's not like, let's see. Reed Hastings. I think that's the best person to do. October 8th, 1960. So we can see when their earnings was from his birthday and see if it fits that pattern. And if it doesn't, that's good. Like, I'm not expecting it to work every single time. Actually I am, because it's all bullshit propaganda. But just solely speaking as a trading strategy, there's no strategy with a 100% success rate. It's all about getting the odds in your favor. So if we can apply this a lot and see the pattern, then you can validate it more. So this was their earnings was the 16th. of July. That's when all this happened, the sell-off. So let's see. From the July 16th to October 8th. I mean, it was already 167, the 39th prime. And he's born 1/8, Sun 18, Saturn 93. 12 weeks. 12 number for completion. Oh, here we go. And here we got it. They were going for that, but again, 12 weeks in one day. See? 12 weeks in one day from his upcoming birthday is when the earnings was. Blood sacrifice equals 121. And how old is he now? He's 57, so from his upcoming 58th birthday, Freemasonry 58, Moon 57. So you notice how we don't have an obvious killing sacrificial number in his age. So although it takes away some of that, you want as much on your side as possible. But although we don't have that, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a dud, because we get the 121, 121, like me again. But you have to also be careful. Revelation 121. Within 223, sometimes, but then it's always about being safe. Why hold when you can just get back in? Because again, it's risk management. So if it's risk management first, you want to understand if you see this, you might want to consider covering your profits, not holding to the next day, not holding through earnings. This is how to play earnings calls from these big Zionist Jew corporations. This is exactly what this video is going to be called. Maybe not verbatim, but this is how to play earnings. This is my strategy that I am sharing with the world. Absolutely free. I wish because again, what if all the traders in the world actually watches this video, finds out about the strategy, applies it, and then what from that, because of that, they're now understand how this is all by numbers bullshit propaganda from the Scottish Rite Freemasons, from the Catholic Church 132, branded propaganda, Jesuit 42. See another 42 here. It's the same numbers through all this propaganda. So that's why I'm sharing this. Like, it's such a good, like, I just think about it. If someone applies this, some trader out there, never heard of Gematria numerology, comes across this video, applies it, understands the patterns, actually works, shares it with his friends, they all do it, then they all see all the news, all the sports, how it's all fake, how they're being deceived from this old world order. And then we can all come together and put them out of commission. That's ideally what I want this video to accomplish. So, 121, blood sacrifice number from Reed Hastings' birthday is their earnings, Netflix, and you see what happens. But you see this nice recovery. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It's Netflix, guys. It is Netflix. It is propaganda software from the federal government. It is a big, deceiving distraction machine. It's going to be here for an extremely long time. They're going to keep putting out more propaganda by the numbers. So, that being said, it's like even CNN, if they had the same thing, I'd say the same exact thing. You would want to try to catch those at the bottom of the sell-off. This is all emotion. People are panic selling because their earnings weren't exceeding their expectations. This is overreaction. You want to buy the fear and then sell the greed, or whatever. There's a more common way of that saying, but this is self psychology, and this is how you can use the propaganda to anticipate this and play it well. And again, manage your risk, not hold through earnings. 12 weeks or one day from his birthday. Absolutely not. No. 73 days from Mark Zuckerberg's 34th birthday. Absolutely not. I would never hold from that. So, and I like this strategy because it gives you a structured time to apply this knowledge. They tell you way in advance when earnings is going to be. And that gives you just like 1 day to decode. You don't have to, decode every little day, every week, and be scared. You can just wait for earnings. You can only apply this to earnings if you want, and keep it centralized, streamlined. So there you have it. Let's see if I can look up a Qualcomm. I'm not sure if they, it's just easier when you have a main person that owns the company. That's where I would say like one thing you'd want. See, like, this is kind of the harder one because they have two people, but they're mentioning Irwin Jacobs first. You can do October 18th. He's born 1930. This guy's a Scottish Freemason. He's 84 years old. That's been a common number. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg equals 84. He's born in 84. This guy's 84. And we just had Netflix. That was 84 days from Mark Hastings' upcoming birthday. And I know I call it the 223, Masonic 223, Jesuit 84. So we get 84 in all three of these that we've looked at so far. That's a common thing I'm seeing. Although, again, Qualcomm didn't have any crazy sell-offs or anything, but again, I can't say it enough. The entire point of this is to know whether or not you should hold the earnings or not. I say you never should no matter what. That's my opinion. You gotta trade on what works for you, not for me. And this is just hype. And again, the deal never went through. But it's Qualcomm. Qualcomm literally supports all the propaganda. So you can, making all the chips for all this technology that they use to keep the koi trending through. So we can do October 18th from their earnings. Not earnings, the deal. So you can do this from deals and mergers too. So that's the 25th. I think that's what the idea ball or this thing is. Icon. But anyway. Oops, wrong date. Although the propaganda for it came out the next day. It's the same thing. Oh yeah, because he's born 10 days later from Irwin Jacobs, from the Netflix founder. Netflix founder born October 8th. This guy's 10 days later, and their earnings were 10 days apart. You see that? Because Netflix was like the 16th. This guy's was like the 15th or the 25th. See 121 again. So it's the same exact thing. So here we just see how it's the same exact bullshit inside the propaganda. All these earnings synced up by the numbers too. No different than these drafts. They're all fake. These earnings calls. Oh, now I remember. Look at Facebook reported their earnings as. They literally brand their propaganda with all this shit. Actual 1.74, $1.74. See that? 174 for the New World Order. New World Order 174, branding their bullshit propaganda again. So I really hope anyone learns something from this video. Hope this video sheds light onto, Qualcomm 121. Qualcomm 121. 12 weeks, 1 day from Irwin Jacobs' birthday. Blood Sacrifice 121. And again, these earnings calls are revelations. Revelation 121. That's why they do this too. And because of that, you might want to say then, if you want to be more risky too, you can tone down the 121 as a culprit number. Especially now we see 121 from Qualcomm's, and it wasn't necessarily, it was still bad. Like at the end of the day, it's how the market reacts to the news. But very well, this news could have sent the stock going down a bit. And still, it didn't do it too well. It had a sell-off the next morning and, pushed kind of back up to the former resistance. Didn't really make any moves anywhere. And then it's just slowly bleeding away. So, and then what that means is there's not much momentum, much interest. It's probably very well going to sell back down to this, $59 $60 price point. So, their news didn't do anything good for them. So Revelation 121, but blood sacrifice 121. But again, if you want to be conservative, look for the easy ones. Mark Zuckerberg, 73 days from his 34th birthday, he has earnings call and his stock plunges 20%, death equals 20. I mean, easiest play of the year. If earnings season, that is the easiest play of earnings season. Probably, I've never followed earnings season like that, but I'm just guessing that's easily probably one of the easiest plays of earnings season in history. Talk about missing opportunity. This is FOMO, right? I don't have FOMO. I don't care that I missed out. I'm saying if you have FOMO, this is what that FOMO over. That you missed out on such a literally easy recovery play. And this propaganda. 851, they update this propaganda at Facebook does not equal 51 equals 50 like Freemasonry. But I understand that Freemasonry, federal, all the same thing. Federal 39, 33 like Masonry, federal 51, Masonry 105, conspiracy 51, propaganda 51, and then in this propaganda day 51. So if you have any questions, this is a little bit different. Definitely ask. For those who aren't into this at all, I just hope you still learn how this is all bullshit propaganda. Facebook 41 million daily users. See? Facebook 41, and then they're saying 41 million users they added. So that's what I'm saying. These are what they're reporting in their earnings. They're reporting bullshit numbers that reflect their name using Gematria. So that means this is bullshit data. It doesn't mean anything. It's all a bunch of crap. Guys, companies have been, this is true. Companies intentionally do this to lower the shares of their company because everyone sells off their shares and lowers the price, lower the price of their shares. Everyone sells off the shares, lowers the price of the shares. That's more that you can buy for cheaper, put out propaganda. The price goes up because of all the hype. Guys, this is what they've been doing since the inception. They've been doing this since Jesus time, seriously. Because the markets like have been around forever. The tax collectors from the Bible, this is what they do. They manipulate markets with propaganda and deception. Snapchat does it all the time. Facebook does this all the time. Netflix did it there. That's what I'm saying. This is how it all works. They went 121 from his birthday. They knew this was going to happen. So they purposely put out bullshit earnings. Guys, their earnings very well could have been better than in all the years ever. They're putting out bullshit numbers. So this happens. And all the Jesuit order, the Catholic Church, the Zionist Jews, all the big banks that they run, buy it all down here. This is where they buy. At the way bottom. They do this on purpose. And then, since everyone's sold, all this, guys, there's a lot of stop loss orders here. Is the main thing, stop losses. Because you're up here, you've already kind of bought a little down here. You say, okay, when it breaks below this price, sell my order. So it's hitting everyone's stop loss orders. As there's more orders that these Zionist Jews are buying, these Scotch Rite Freemasons are buying, and then bam, they sell up here. This is how they make money off of their propaganda. And I'm teaching you then how you can play the game along with them and make money off of their propaganda instead of sitting in their office at the post office, stamping a bunch of letters with a bunch of nonsense in them, getting paid chicken change. So, peace out. Take care. Have a good weekend.